afternoon, everyone. Welcome to GeekStorm. I'm Shawn Hilton, your host, and to my left is April Thatcher, Mike Harrison. They are citizens and residents, and they know something about what's going on in the city of Kokomo. This week, we had some unfortunate events where many tornadoes touched down in the city of Kokomo. We thought about changing our names from GeekStorm to something else because we thought it was too soon, but we're sticking through it. We're going to weather through with the rest of you.
You made a pun.
Mr. Harrison, please, inform us about the weather.
Today it's cloudy with a chance of rain. Oh, you mean last week? Everybody knows we had the tornadoes come through, and
we can't say what your profession is on the air, but you do have a little more insight than the average person would. So, if you would, without saying what you do, he does in fact collect garbage, ladies. You do something else. So, with that thrown out there,
we had some bad weather, we had some tornadoes, a lot of destruction. Everybody's seen the paper, everybody's seen the Facebook pictures. The main thing I can say is stay away from those areas. And it's kind of late now, we're getting into the recovery phase of it, but there's no reason to go around the Cedar Crest area. There's no reason to go around, drive up and down Hoffer looking at the destruction. All you're doing is getting in the way. All you did was get in the way. Because when I had to stop and ask you, do you live here? Are you going in there for a reason? Is there a reason you're here? Please turn around and go the other way. That's 5 minutes I could have been doing something else, helping somebody or searching for somebody. So if, God forbid, something like this happens again, just stay in your home. That's all you have to do. Stay home.
That was incredibly informative, Mike Harrison. Thank you very much. However, that's my camera. That's your camera.
No, that's completely wrong. That's my camera. That's your camera.
You give this woman a new job, and all of a sudden, she knows everything. Good job, Mike Harrison. Meanwhile,
it's simple stuff.
From the president, Chris Ham, president and CEO of Cicada.
Good job.
Please be sure to register with Homeland Security for tracking purposes for state and federal assistance to your community if you have any damage to your home or business. Regardless of whether you're going to claim it or not, it has something to do with the overall grand scheme of things. So, if you need a contract referrals for cleaning, restoration, reconstruction, volunteer manpower to help with anything, your business, contact Karen McCoy at 765-319-0027. You guys have the capability of putting that? Oh, thank you very much.
She sounds like the real McCoy.
She probably is. If you need volunteer manpower for residential homes, we will call Travis Tafflinger at 765-210-0700. Inventrek is giving up some space to help some of the people displaced by the community. I believe this is for business space. Food, shelter, medical, donations. If you're in need of food, water, like to donate, it's United Way. You call 211. That is the biggest number that I've seen in all the things. There's a lot of different people helping, a lot of good people trying to do the right thing. However, I don't know that everybody is as well informed or knows what's going on. So,
and that's year-round. That's a year-round number you can call anytime. If you're needing assistance for some kind that you think a particular charity might be able to help you with, 211 is the number you call, and they get you to the correct charity.
Excellent. Some of the donation items that they are specifically looking for, and I imagine some of these are year-long, I'm guessing. Canned food. Going to guess it's all year long, but right now, especially Thanksgiving, holiday season, definitely, go out to the store and for every 4 cans of something you buy an extra can, donate it. Manual can openers. Well, if you don't have electricity, an electric can opener is not going to be very useful. Plastic containers to help contain and store stuff, keep stuff clean. Ziploc baggies, the same kind of situation. Diapers and wipes, formula shampoo and conditioner, bottled water, cleaning supplies, flashlights, and batteries. There are also more volunteer operation stuff going on with redcross.org. Again, 211, though, is probably your quickest and easiest link that we can possibly give you to make sure that you are helping the people in need. So 211 it up. Also, volunteers going door to door may be affected, informed, blah, blah, blah. All right, so if somebody knocks on your door and says, hey, I'm with so-and-so, make sure they are. There's some elderly folk, there's some younger folk, there's some naive folk. Make sure that if somebody is knocking on your door and is trying to sell you something, collect for something, there are unscrupulous people in the world that will lie to you. And there has been some of that going on. There has been some looting that has been confirmed. So please, take a second, make sure that before you give your money, before you shell out some extra work, before you talk to anybody, probably the easiest thing you can possibly do is talk to your own insurance agency if you have one, and have whoever it is that wants to talk to you go through them first. get vetted. Go through people that you know and can trust. Otherwise, there's a chance that you are going to be scammed.
It's kind of dangerous right now because the insurance companies are everywhere. I've seen, like their hubs. I've seen the nationwide hub where there's 30 nationwide cars there sitting there ready to go out. These guys are out there writing checks. They're out there looking at your house, seeing it's torn up, and saying, okay, I'm going to give you a check for X amount of dollars. So that means you, the homeowner, have got this big amount of money in your hand. Everybody knows that. All the scam artists that come out from out of state and out of town, they all know that. They'll come, hey, I'll take care of this for you for $3,000. Just give me $2,000 down and we'll get started. You do that and they disappear and you're out of your money. And the insurance company's not going to write you another check. So.
And there are also the traveling contractors that are just kind of like swarming the area.
Right.
Carpetbaggers.
Okay, well, but I was using a nicer name.
I don't see any reason to.
Okay.
These people are vultures, and most of them are unscrupulous, so
Okay.
no.
So, yeah, definitely check businesses out.
There are enough contractors in Kokomo that you can get a referral from somebody you probably know.
Legit. In
that's
Kokomo,
legit.
local
keeping,
owned.
yeah, keeping business right here and
Yeah,
supporting
that's
our
true.
neighbors.
That's true.
Knocking on the door of the guy who fixed your roof. It's a lot easier than trying to track down some scab
Right.
that came in from who knows where because horrible weather hit.
Right.
So I'm not going to support those vultures. Hey, on to happier things. What are the events in Kokomo this week?
Well, since usually, it might be a little late to get in on this week's events. Next Saturday, the 30th, I believe.
Saturday after Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Okay.
Is the lighting of the Cyberling Mansion's Christmas lights.
You were married in the Cyberling Mansion.
That's correct, Mike. I
I was too.
was married at the Cyberling Mansion.
I was in attendance.
You were somewhere in like the 4th or 5th row.
Correct.
So in a bad suit thing, you were wearing like
Probably had a tie.
tie. Yeah.
Probably had a tie.
Look like-
honestly,
you come from work.
I honestly should have been best man, but since you didn't come to my wedding, I said I wasn't coming to
Girls.
your wedding, and so you didn't actually ask me, which was probably a good move on your part because my history with showing up to friends' weddings is maybe not the best, but
It's spotty.
But let's move on.
I'll point out I've been married for 15 years and you weren't the best man.
That's great.
What else do you got? Love Cyberling Mansion at the holiday season. A truly beautiful place.
Sure.
That's a great event for all families, and it's a piece of local history, and it's a yearly thing that you can make a family tradition out of. So definitely check that out. That's about all I have.
All right, other events in Kokomo. Now keep in mind, please, that with the weather that we've recently had, some of these dates and times may have changed that we don't have the updated information for, because I'm guessing a lot of these are seat-of-your-pants kind of changes being made. But this coming Wednesday is Tie-Dye Wednesday, the biggest sale in downtown all year long. Comics Cubed, Goblin Games, Drake's Bar and Grill. Pepper Whistle is going to be staying open late. Cooks is going to be involved. Several of the other locations. Planet Mind, right next door to Pepper Whistle, will be involved in the largest crazy sale.
So
The idea
not
is-
Black Friday.
Not Black Friday.
Not Gray Thursday.
Leave your family
Right.
high and
Right.
dry Saturday. Not End
Right.
Your Life Sunday.
Sure.
Not why am I still bothering to be on this earth Monday.
Cyber Monday is what they
Cyber
call it.
Monday, Shop Small Set. They've all got something.
Sure.
So
This is-
before we go to Black Friday and everything is
Right.
rotten
Right.
and nasty,
Right.
happy festive colors and tie-dye
Tie-dye.
Wednesday.
Wow.
We're just going to beat it all. Because what are you doing on Wednesday? You don't want to cook, so why not come to downtown and get some food?
No,
eat
sure.
with the
sure.
family.
Tie-dye
If
is
you've got-
festive. Kind of hippie-like,
Yeah,
but not
it's
necessarily.
fun.
Well, you know about that. So, but tie-dye, you don't have to wear tie-dye. It's not
no.
required.
The idea is
Not
just-
wear
it's a
tie
splash of color.
and then dye.
Right.
Before the gray and the black.
And I
the
don't
dark.
imagine anybody would be wearing tie-dye. It's just a festive color that you're thinking.
Go with that.
Sure.
Maybe.
So that's going on. Now, on the 22nd, we have a We Care concert at IUK Havens Auditorium. Doors open at 5 p.m. Concert starts at 7 p.m. Tickets are $2.
Isn't that today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
November 22nd, Who's Your Heartland Comedy Series presents Chick McGee and Friends. I have been told
I'll go see
this
that.
one has actually been,
Sold out?
moved.
Changed.
Moved.
Aw.
So I just have the old info. So I'm sorry.
like
That
Chick
is-
McGee.
That is
Well-
going to.
well,
he
now
was.
you can go,
Chick
so now
McGee
you
was
know.
coming to the Elite Banquet and Conference Center.
I want to go see
So I
that.
imagine he will be coming
Yeah.
back.
wanna see
November
that.
23rd,
Chick.
Kokomo Community Concert presents The Diamonds, featuring rock and roll at the Kokomo High School. Tickets appear to be well.
His homework,
I saw
made
Bla-
notes
I
and
saw Blair
everything.
from Facts of Life at Kokomo High School when I was about 15 years old.
That's awesome.
That was my first concert ever. Blair from Facts of Life.
November 24th, Angels for Kids Chili Cook-Off. Tasting begins at 4
2D is
p.m.
pretty cool.
Stella's Lounge using a $5 donation to taste and vote for your favorite chili. November 26th, the Music Jam Open Mic.
Any chance you could just
featuring-
hit the highlights there?
These are the events in Kokomo. I was told these were important and that we did not have a show unless there were actual key events
Oh.
featured. So these are the key events according to the Kokomo Howard Community Calendar.
Wow.
So,
Maybe you could just hit the
also,
ones over the next week.
there's a 5K November 28th in the Highland Park. We have the We Care Park Holiday Lighting November 28th. That seems like an important one. We should probably
Sure.
cover that.
Yeah.
All right.
Just threw that right at
We
you.
Care, LaFound, blah, blah, blah. Cyberlink Mansion, yep, that's that one. There's a Pioneer Village Christmas display at the County Fairgrounds
Howard County
November
Fairgrounds.
30th through December 25th.
That one is actually really cool, and it keeps growing every year.
Did the
So
Pioneer,
cool, I thought you would have mentioned it.
did the
Well,
Pioneers
you know
have Christmas
what?
lights?
I'm not as awesome as you are, and I
That's
didn't bring
true.
notes, so.
So those are the events in Kokomo. Hey,
We devoted fully 1/3 of the show to the events of
I
Kokomo.
have been informed that if we do not, we will not be on the air anymore.
Oof, boy,
So,
that'd be a blow.
there you go.
I
Hey,
don't
so now
believe
let's
that's
get into
what
the
was said.
GeekStorm geeky stuff so that we can geek out now.
Did you go see a movie?
I did.
What'd
I
you
went
go
and saw
see?
the Hunger Games.
Did you really?
Me and my wife piled into the car at 8 o'clock
You are a
last night.
liar. You told me you didn't go
And
see it.
I never actually ever said I didn't go see it. I just said I didn't hear that April went and saw it.
Oh boy.
And then I skirted the issue, so I didn't have to talk to you about it. Because I didn't want this review to be tainted by, oversharing. I'm just going to say that this Hunger Games movie, that Thor movie that came out a little while ago, ain't making nowhere near the money. At 8 o'clock, the 8 o'clock show to get in, packed with so much teenage estrogen that I had to squeeze in. It was crazy. The 8 o'clock showing was one of those deals where, excuse me, everybody, please get up, move, squeeze the seats together so these two people can actually sit down in this
Really?
theater
On a Thursday.
on a Thursday.
Wow.
There were lines queued up for 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 12 o'clock. Queued up,
Wow.
ready to go. And again, we go to a lot of these 8 o'clock, 9
And
o'clock,
they're
even midnight
never-
showings. And it's us with like 4 other people in the audience.
Right.
This one really was, by the time it was over, we dressed in layers because you never know what the theater's gonna be like. You wanted to
Were
start
you
stripping
naked
off
by the
clothes because you're just stewing in your own sweat. But regardless of that, the fact that it's going to do monstrous money, this thing is probably going to do north of $100 million in opening week. I thought Thor might be able to do it. This thing was crazy, off the hook. People coming in with their books, whole families, and what was very funny,
Did anybody have a bow and arrow?
I didn't see any, but there was an ad for the new Nerf Rebel line, and this is no joke. This is how insulting that Nerf is to female customers. Because they know that with this, they might be able to bring in some girls. So it is all their Nerf line of bows and arrows and like little hand crossbows, all mixed with pink colors.
Nice.
And
It
stupid,
looks,
stickers on the darts. Like,
Yes.
So that they're special and girly.
it's
Who
like,
cares?
I'm sorry, but I don't think Katniss really cared about her pink bow. She's shooting people to kill them. It's exactly. So 2.5 hours long. Didn't feel like it at all.
Wow.
Absolutely, really. It was, you know what? For an action adventure movie, for something based on a book, when I read the first one, have not read the second one, the audience was enthralled the entire time. There was something going on the entire time. It was worth seeing. Lots of great drama that builds up. It doesn't just like, boom, we're into the action. We build up the characters. We explain the situations clearly, very well. Maybe a tad bit overacting here and there, but nothing. When you look at a young cast like this, and then mixed in with Donald Sutherland being like this evil, vicious kind of bastard, and then Philip C. Hoffman coming in,
Seymour Hoffman.
He's that guy that no matter, he's got an Academy Award or two. He's really perceived, but he's kind of like the laid back version of, Robert De Niro or something like that, just where he plays that one character. It's not even fair to Robert De Niro because he does have some more range.
You're saying he plays the same character all the time?
Yes, it's always that laid back, hey man, I
Right.
just rolled out of bed at 4 a.m. after a great big bender kind of thing. So it doesn't matter if it's this tween movie or a serious role, it always seems like Mission Impossible, the same kind of guy. So really well put together, thought out. Woody Harrelson is probably doing some of his better work in this little angsty teen movie. Katniss is put in a horrible position. Now they have to go on a victory tour after winning the games. So you have to go to all the other districts where you killed their children and then give like a heartfelt greeting.
Wow.
So that was a little rough. The evil President Snow is onto the fact that their relationship with her and Peeta is fake. They have holographic moving images of her kissing Gale or whatever. Really, it's pretty good stuff overall, and then ends on a really nice cliffhanger. This is definitely a movie that ends. Like, when it ends, it's like, you know that there's another book. It is going to continue. So it's bam. But even the ending felt like, all right, if that's where you're going to do it, that works for me. You definitely get your money's worth. The target audience for it is definitely going to get their money's worth. People of the book, again, I didn't read it, so I don't know if they're going to be upset or not. But there was a lot of stuff going on. There were some really fun elements to it. Fun might not be the right word, but you get the idea. Stuff to really grab you. Now, this morning while I was waiting for you to pick me up, I happened to just, because I don't watch a lot of television.
Which is not easy, by the way. Go ahead.
Well, because of the horrible tornado and destruction and stuff. We'll go with that. So, while I'm sitting there waiting for you, I happened to turn on some cable just to blow some time away, and there's a review from some guy on like Channel 8. First off, this guy starts off with complaining about the length of the movie. Now, all reviewers are different, but I don't know how the length of a movie possibly has anything to do with whether a movie is good or bad. And this whole, this whole kind of feeling that the shorter is better kind of thing. To the guy who does it at Channel 8 that I'm sure is highly paid and is much more professional than I am, get your head out of your ass. What is your ADHD situation? What is your problem?
Don't
What?
make fun of people's ADHD.
All right, I think it has something to say about the whole
Oh,
generation where
yeah.
text messages have to be 128 characters so you can tweet it. There's no sense. I'm sorry, greatest movie of all time, not in my opinion, but I would say most people would say probably that whole Gone with the Wind thing. Guess what? It's so long they put an intermission in. So,
Well, I think it matters, the ratio of, is it a good movie versus the time? If it's a really bad movie and it's really long, then it's too long.
a bad movie that's 5 minutes is still 5 minutes of my life that was bad. A
Right.
good movie that's 5 hours is whatever. This is the same guy that actually said the Lord of the Ring movies are pretty good, but they were too long too.
I think it depends on what type of movie it is. Kind of what April's saying. I don't want to see a 2 and a half hour comedy. Okay, I want an hour and a half. Now something like Lord of the Rings that's epic, that's storytelling, that's beautiful. I want to see 3 hours of that. A Cap. I would have loved to seen 3 hours of Cap. But it depends on the movie. I mean, it's tough. It's tough with an action movie to sustain, and I haven't seen the movie that you're talking about, but to sustain the tension and release and tension and release and the tension and release for 2.5 hours, that might be kind of tough. But again, I didn't see it yet.
I think in this, as I said, they had enough drama. This is definitely trying to add in enough drama and building it up in a manner that makes sense. I think 2.5 hours for me flew by.
Well, you clearly enjoyed it.
So, and not the kind of movie that's targeted at me.
Right.
The trailer's very confusing. You got stuff that was directed, directly at kids. There's something called like Endless Love or something coming out, which looks to be a direct swipe of Dirty Dancing without the dancing.
Well, there was a movie called
It's just
Endless
dirty.
Love.
No, it's just like that whole everything. It looks like they're going to a summer camp kind of thing with the family, like a lodge resort thing.
It's probably a remake of.
Could be. It
Endless-
just the whole
Endless
thing would
Love.
just seem like I'm like, holy cow, this thing looks completely swiped.
Who was that? That was
So-
Brooke Shields and some guy I don't know.
I don't know. He's like a mechanic or something in this. But then there'd be like another trailer that was, completely not at all involved with.
Oh,
that
these are the trailers you're talking
yeah,
about.
it was
Okay,
just
gotcha.
kind of all over the place
Gotcha.
and dancing about. So overall, it's a PG-13 movie. The Hunger Games, really, if you saw the first one, you're gonna like the second one. It's sharp stuff. It's really well put together. It is 2.5 hours. Doesn't feel like 2.5 hours to me. Maybe the second time I see it,
Mm-hmm.
then I gotta go see it again. Maybe then it'll feel that way, but overall, not
And
the
the
problem.
Liam Hemsworth guy was voted, is it People's or Time?
People does the sexiest man alive.
Okay, People, whatever.
But they
Which-
they pick like
Please stop
Okay,
calling
people-
me.
50
Okay.
different
Please, people.
things. So.
Stop calling me.
Yeah, people were totally like, why'd they pick him, not Mike Harrison? I'm just joking. People are actually like
It's time to let somebody else
upset
win.
that they
That's all
didn't
I'm
pick
saying.
somebody more classic like George Clooney, but he's been on there several times. And then I saw something about the Hunger Games. It was actually pretty awesome. The Hungry Games by Cookie Monster. It was pretty darn good. So, yeah.
I saw a movie with Liam Hemsworth yesterday. Was not The Hunger Games.
And
On
it
Netflix.
wasn't as awesome as Cookie Monster.
It was not. It was not. Just very quickly, it was on Netflix, which we were just kind of flicking around looking for something to watch yesterday. And it's called Empire State. And it had Liam Hemsworth and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and somebody else who I don't know. And it was a true story based on a armored car heist in the early '80s. So it was kind of a period piece. It made me for one of the first times, realized how much difference a director can make in a movie. Because we talked about this a couple weeks ago, about Dwayne Johnson doing some more dramatic stuff. And that's kind of what this is. There was a little bit of action, but he was basically just acting in it. And it seems like they just went, okay, Rock, go. And he went and he said, perfect, great. One taken out. It didn't really seem like they were requiring him to do any really hard work there, acting-wise. The standout for this particular movie, though, was kind of the sidekick to the Liam Hemsworth character. Remember those cartoons with the big bulldog and the little dog that would bounce all around?
Yeah.
There was a guy that was the embodiment of that character. This just little mousy, weaselly guy that you absolutely hated. You had no idea why Liam Hemsworth was hanging around with him at all. He was awesome. And then he'll get no recognition for it, and I don't know his name. I'm sorry, but he was great.
That's how good he was.
He really was worth watching the movie just to watch this guy go, and because you did not like him. And it was a pretty good movie, though. I mean, it's a true story, so you kind of got a little bookend at the end from the real guy that lived through it, saying, no, nobody knows where the money is. That type of thing. So it was good. It's called Empire State. Check it out if you're a Rock fan or if you're a Liam Hemsworth fan, like apparently People Magazine is.
Does it like the statute of limitations is on whatever that crime is? At the end of
no, it did
call
not.
me in 5 years and then I'll tell you where the hell the money went.
He did. The people involved did like 7 or 8 or 9 years, and they're out, but like half the money is still missing.
That's great. In other Hollywood news,
Sure.
Thor,
Still
on this-
rocking it.
500 million.
It's nice.
So global.
Nice. Good
It
to
is the
see.
5th Marvel movie to do it, and I believe the first Marvel movie not to feature Robert Downey Jr. to finally hit that mark.
That's awesome.
And if Thor 2 can do 500 million that quickly,
Yeah.
Cap's gonna
Yeah.
eat that alive.
Did you see anything about Sony and their Spider-Man universe? We talked before about, Marvel's got the Marvel universe, but they don't own all the Marvel characters, the movie rights to all the Marvel characters. They don't have X-Men right now. They don't have Spider-Man right now. Sony's coming out and saying, well, we're going to start making Spider-Man universe movies where, like I imagine Disney is saying, well, we want to use Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Yeah, they were Avengers, and yeah, they were X-Men at some point, so they belong in both universes, so we're allowed to use them. I think Sony is saying that goes both ways, okay? We're going to be allowed to use all the Spider-Man characters, because they're talking about Electro and Black Cat and all these extraneous Spider
Well, those characters make sense, but like
to do
if they
their
tried
own separate movies.
If they tried to go out and say we've got the Punisher because his first appearance is in Amazing Spider-Man, then that I would be like, if I was Marvel,
It's hard to say.
you
That's
know
all
what,
legal.
Sony?
That's all legal.
You guys are big. You guys make a lot of money, but we're still Disney,
Yeah.
and our lawyers are still.
It's the first time I've seen them use this term, the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
So they want to expand it. They see the big dollar signs, and well, we want to do better than just a Spider-Man movie every 3 years. We want to make more.
We'll make some
Yeah.
fat cash.
So-
That'll be interesting to see how it comes down.
Yeah.
Piece of Hollywood memorabilia up for sale and auction, I believe right now.
Is it from Terror Squad?
No.
Oh.
The iconic lead statue of the Maltese Falcon from the 1941 film, up for grabs. Warner Brothers has put it up. They haven't put it up. It's owned by a private owner. However, their official archivist has concluded that this is the screen-used lead, the end of the movie version, and has even gone so far as to offer up a true story. The lead is a malleable substance. It can be dented and whatnot. The end of the film, this is like a 45-pound object. The lead actress dropped it while handing it to Bogart, landed on his foot,
Ouch.
dented a certain portion of the thing, which in the second half, or the last couple scenes, you can clearly see on the screen. This one has the exact marks. They've archived it. They've officially greenlit. This is the real deal. It's been shown in the Warner Brothers museums over the years. It's been passed around to other museums. So if you want to own a piece, probably one of the
When was that
most
movie?
iconic, 1941.
41. That makes it 62 years old.
Yep.
62 years old.
I'll have to go with
So
that.
if the owner's been handling it that long, then they're clearly
They've had it since the
crazy
80s.
by now.
The Falcon was purchased privately by the present owner in the 1980s.
72
And
years.
it will come with, to just read off paper, correspondence from the Warner Brothers archivist Leith Adams confirming this is seen on screen in the classic film, and the present owner is the rightful owner, which leads into another item.
More interesting.
Well, comic related.
Okay.
An artist who's in his 90s
these
had
notes.
done a tribute piece
I read
to
that one.
the death of JFK. before John F. Kennedy had passed away, which I believe was an anniversary for that. Before he passed away, there was a Superman comic in which the president asked Superman to help out, and then before it was published, JFK was assassinated. They pulled the issue, reached out from the White House.
So this was a DC comic that had JFK in it?
Yes.
Gotcha.
We're told they pulled it. DC back then had enough class. In this day and age, they rushed to add more pages.
Right.
Back then had enough class to yank it. White House comes out and says, no, please publish it. It needs to be published. Well, at the very end, on the actual comic, in the text, it says all these pages will be donated to the JFK Museum, which is being set up.
Okay.
Finds out the artist in his 90s goes to the New York Comic Con to learn that, how there's a big auction houses now are getting involved in geek memorabilia. They have the pages, they're going to auction them off. The artist is like, whoa, no, those are in a museum. I don't know how you got them, but this is illegal. So it goes back and forth. They never got to the museum. They've been out and about floating in private hands
Are they
for
complete?
a while. I believe it's the whole story.
Wow.
I believe it's one of the shorts.
Okay.
So I don't think it's more than probably 8 or 10 pages,
Right.
I guess. But I
I just wondered if they got split up through the private
No,
collectors.
I'm not under the impression. They've stayed together. So instead of being donated to the museum, got out somehow. Nobody knows how. As I think we know, comic pages are now drawn by an artist, and then they're inked by another artist. And then they are returned to the creative team. So basically, comic companies aren't buying art pages. They basically rent the right to use them and then return the original art. Now, it wasn't the case back in the day.
Right, they didn't have
But
a
this
market
artist
for that.
was told flat out, this is how this is going to happen. So now there's a big legal battle getting ready to begin. This guy's a little up there, but he wants these pages back. They're, according to him and the way comics work now, those belong to him and should have always belonged to him. He let them go because they were supposed to be enshrined. They weren't. So he wants to know, A, what happened, who got paid, where they wound up, because this is like the second set of owners that he knows of now that this has come out and information is starting to get out there. So that's kind of a little different thing that's going on out there, but something very geek related. Now, for the big thing of the week, though, for the millions and millions of Doctor Who fans out there in the world, we have got the most amazing prequel out there called The Night of the Doctor. Now, coming up shortly, we're going to have The Day of the Doctor, which is the 50th anniversary episode. It is going to lead into the first major crossover of the new Doctors meeting up with each other, old companions meeting new companions. One of the big shindigs of the year will be this whole David Tennant meeting Matt Smith thing. But before that happened, there was the 8th Doctor. And the 8th Doctor is Paul McGann, and he was in one episode for a Fox pilot. So they went from BBC over to the States. Fox is like, well, we can relaunch this and make it, Americanized. So all of a sudden, the Doctor went from having a companion to a girlfriend. The action was streamed up. Paul McGann does an excellent job as the Doctor, but the story, all in all, is pilot crap.
Which Doctor is he?
He's number 8.
I know, what's his deal?
Was only in one episode, so
Okay, never
trying to
mind.
describe that to somebody is a little tough unless you're a huge Doctor Who fan, but he doesn't really have a shtick. He's the guy who...
Not,
he's the
not
guy,
a colorful scarf
nothing really
or...
like that. He had a little more Victorian kind of a look
Okay.
to him, I think, but they've changed it because I said he had the one episode.
Does he make all the posters and everything? When they say doctors, he
He's
makes
in
it?
all of them, yeah. He's official. It's all canon.
Gotcha.
So he finally... You never saw what happened to him. There's the one story... BBC, or not, Big Finish Audio has done some audio stories featuring him where they've created new stories and things of that nature, but on the screen we've never seen anything. Well, in this, they do about an 8-minute long mini episode where they show him, he arrives, he has a great little line, and they show his regeneration, which if you're a Doctor Who fan is the big deal. So you actually see why something happens that's a little out there. So go check it out. Doctor Who, The Night of the Doctor, 8 minutes of, if you're a Doctor Who fan, this is really good stuff. You're going to really enjoy it. And for somebody like me who's been saying for a long time now, Paul McGann needs to get a little more respect. He is part of it, and he seems to be treated like a redheaded stepchild. This was finally them stepping up and giving him that respect that he deserved.
April has red hair.
And I am a stepchild.
That is so insensitive. Okay, April, you got a minute and a half for comments.
Okay. The Harley Quinn, number
How
0.
was that? I want to read it. I haven't had a chance yet.
Here.
I have a copy.
It was actually really cool. If you just flip through it, it might be a little confusing, but pretty much each page is like done by a different artist.
There's
and
like 17 different artists on this book.
And it's actually of her talking to the artist, telling them if she likes it or not.
If she likes that page that she's on,
Yeah,
that's kind of
yeah.
cool.
So
That's
it was
that's original.
really interactive and
Kind
really
of breaking
cool.
the fourth wall
and,
there.
Like, we talked before the show. It'd be really cool to get all the signatures and
Yeah.
this could be like a really cool piece.
This is a 0 issue. The new, it's got a ongoing monthly Harley Quinn book starts December, I think, maybe.
Next month.
Next month, okay.
Cataclysm by whatever, Marvel. Sorry, you know, whatever. It was like a tribute to like a Galacticus cult type deal. It was pretty good, entertaining.
He's hungry.
And this, A Voice in the Dark, looks really cool. It's the crappiest comic I think I've ever read. So there you go. I was honest. So
You were honest.
Voice in the Dark is out.
That's good. Wow. All right.
Do not read
That's it.
Voice in the Dark.
Xbox One came out last night at midnight. It's already making a big splash. PS4 has been out for a week. It's doing really well. I've been told by sources that I trust that seem to keep up on this stuff that less than 1% have had technical issues. A lot of early adopters of these video game systems do find glitches and problems, but so far,
did you see that?
Been good.
I believe it's Sony. Maybe is coming out with a smell-o-vision controller.
no, I did not hear about that, but it's not something that I wish to
Who?
own.
Xbox. Oh, sorry.
Smell-o-vision?
Television.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out on that.
Something.
That's the technology I
Yeah.
don't need.
Like, would you have to put smell cartridges in there for like every different game, or is like everything gonna smell the same? And
I think
what
napalm
is
is
your
probably the only
smell
thing you
that
actually
you're
need to
gonna
smell.
like?
I've got to say that, yeah, I don't.
I don't think that's gonna be
out.
a winner. Me
Yeah.
too.
All right, well,
All right.
that's GeekStorm for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Again, I am Shawn Hilton, and to my left, April Thatcher, Mike Harrison. We are live from Pepper Whistle in the heart of downtown Kokomo, the Pioneer Award-winning restaurant.
They are the Pioneer Award
Stop
winners.
by and check them out sometime. They've got amazing lunch specials every day that they're open, which is every day but Sunday.
And don't forget
Sunday,
Tie-Dye
Sunday.
Wednesday, all downtown, everybody coming
Huge,
downtown.
massive sale.
Spend your money downtown Kokomo before you go to the mall.
Yeah.
Get something
exactly.
awesome to read, so when you're like on
When you're
your
standing in line waiting for that
turkey
$3 DVD, you'll have something
Forcing
something
people to work on a holiday,
Right.
so you can be thankful that you
Right.
did it.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for being here.